Hi guys, Tom Morrison here, and I'm going to take you through how to fix an anterior pelvic tilt in 5 minutes. So firstly, what is an anterior pelvic tilt? It is a position of your pelvis that does not lend very well to feeling very good. So if your lumbar spine is overcompressed or your pelvis is sitting a little bit funny, anything that you do can cause tightness, stiffness, weakness in general. Jenny, I need you. Yes. So, anterior pelvic tilt, it looks like you're sticking your booty out for an Instagram shot, so it is not very good for overall strength training. This compression can lead to injury long term as well, but like I said, that general stiffness is something that you want to get away with. Also, what is hindered here is your hip extension, so you will not actually be able to use your glutes to the maximum. So you really want to teach yourself, and this is the very important thing about this, integration, so that little bit of a tuck under and that standing up nice and straight becomes how you move in general, and that will make every exercise that you do far more beneficial for you if you sort this out. So it takes a little bit of work at the start, so it's not quite 5 minutes. I did fib, thank you Jenny. I did fib a little. It is going to be 5 minutes 4 times a day for 2 weeks. So it's, you're going to retrain it, but don't worry. Doing that for an extended period of time is what fixes it, and that is how you get rid of it long term, okay? So you won't have to do this routine forever. In fact, after those 2 weeks and you're moving better all the time in general, you'll probably find that none of the stretches are hard to you at all anymore, and you won't find the couch stretch even tight at all. Your glutes will work far better and you will feel amazing for it. It's usually caused by tight hip flexors or lazy glutes, which are actually very intertwined together. So if your glutes don't work effectively, your hip flexors will get tighter all the time. If your hip flexors get tighter, it hinders your glutes from working. So this is the things that we're going to be working on. And as well, if you have a job that requires you to sit for long periods of time, your hips are always going to be closed. They're never going to be fully opened up, and that's why you just start to lose that range of motion. If you spend a long period of time in a certain position, your body just goes, well, I'll stay like that then. So if you don't retrain yourself out of it, that is why you can get stuck with these things, and sometimes it can feel overwhelming trying to change this thing that's like been built up in your head of the anterior pelvic tilt, but it really does come down to your pelvis awareness and having that little bit of conscious effort for a while so that goes into your subconscious, and then you just move better all the time. So here is the routine. You're going to be doing this 4 times per day. As soon as you get up in the morning, I cannot stress this enough how important it is to rewrite these habits as soon as you wake up, okay? Because that gets locked in your brain and you already start moving better first thing in the day. So as soon as you wake up, you're going to run through the routine. Then, in and around lunchtime if you can, fit it in again. Then in and around dinner time, so 3 times there, and then a bonus time whenever you want. So you could do it before bed, or if you get a break, anything like that. Try and fit that extra 4th time in, and you will get results a lot faster, okay? So it is 1 minute couch stretch on one side, 1 minute couch stretch on the other side, then 3 10-second hits of a hard style plank, then 3 10-second hits of a butt squeeze, and then 1 minute of standing march. So the openers are the couch stretch, which you've probably seen before. Then you are into your hard style plank, which is an isometric position, fancy word for don't move. Hold that to train where the pelvis should be. Then you're going to be going to the butt squeeze, which is going to help with the lazy glutes and the tight hip flexors. Then your integration is the standing march. You're going to do that 4 times a day without fail for 2 weeks. Then you will notice that everything changes and you move better all the time. So the very first exercise is the couch stretch. What Jenny's going to do is sit herself up with her foot on a bench, then drive her hip down to the floor, squeeze her bum as hard as you can, and then sit up from there. What you don't want to end up doing here is actually sitting into an anterior pelvic tilt, okay? So this would be you with your problem, sitting in your problem, wallowing in your own self-pity. That's not good for anyone. We want to use the stretch to correct the problem. So what Jenny's going to do is really tuck that under and then sit up from the front here so that everything in her lower back is nice and flat. She should be aware of her abs here, and she should be squeezing nice and tight, okay? Then she's just going to hang out here. This is a very important position to get right to actually get the benefits from it. It's not so much of a quad stretch, it's more to get the front of the hip open. So if you're feeling it way down too low, you need to mess around with it a little bit more, okay? So like I said, I think I I said, don't be afraid to mess around in stretches because they will feel slightly different to you. A little other thing you can do as well is move the hips around a little bit, or also reach up on that same side to just get a nice stretch all along the front there. While you're there, you might as well make use of some good breathing techniques. So if you know anyone that you don't like, after you've finished talking to them and you're walking away, you probably go like that. That's the breath that I want you to use as you're sitting in this stretch, okay? So it's 1 minute on one side, and then you change sides. Ooh, very efficient. And then again, make sure that you're not overextending that low back. Make sure that you're tucking everything under and you're trying to get away from having that pelvis in that anterior pelvic tilt. So this is the couch stretch, 1 minute each side. We recently did a more in-depth video on the couch stretch, so if you want to head over to our YouTube channel, you can check that out as well. Now we want to integrate the stretch into an isometric position. So what Jenny's going to do is set up into a plank. And what we're going to do is start putting some tension into this. First thing we'll do is make sure the position is right. So if she's dropped her hips down again, we're into that anterior pelvic tilt again. We do not want that. We also don't want the hips up too high. Ideally, we want to see the lower back nice and flat and the feet together, and press down. Stretch the skin on your back a little bit. Press down nice and hard. Now, this is just holding in position. If we want to make this a lasting change, we want to put tension into the position. So what Jenny's going to do is close her hands, squeeze her fists as hard as you can, pull her elbows down towards your feet, push your feet into the floor at the same time, squeeze your butt, tighten her abs, squeeze your legs together, and create as much tension as possible for 10 full seconds. Take a break for a second. It should feel a lot more challenging to hold. You shouldn't be just able to sit there. If you can hold the plank for 2, 3, 10 minutes, it's not really going to be as beneficial as putting that full tension into it, because you're going to make your body feel strong. So 3 sets of 10-second holds. Jenny's going to bring herself back up again and get that maximal tension. Hold it for that 10 seconds again. Make sure that back is nice and flat. You're pulling the elbows down. You're squeezing the fists as hard as you can, squeezing the legs together, pushing the feet into the ground. This is the only way you're going to start to make a lasting change with that couch stretch, so you won't have to do it as often. Make your body feel strong here. The butt squeeze is quite literally as simple as it sounds. You're just going to stand and you're going to squeeze your butt as hard as you can and hold it for 10 seconds. Whenever you squeeze it as hard as you can, try and squeeze it a little bit harder. There's always a little bit more in there. And you can do this throughout the day as well. Anytime if you're standing in a queue or just stand about doing nothing, you can just squeeze your butt. Don't be afraid to squeeze your butt. I have a little bit of a saying, it is if in doubt, squeeze your butt, and it is very, very true for a lot of things. If you think about hip extension, that is what you're doing. You're just extending, boom, bum is squeezed. So this is going to start to integrate those two stretches into your standing position as well. So make sure that you don't have that big tilt backwards. So really good if you're either recording yourself with your phone or a camera or in the mirror, and if you can see yourself with your bum sticking back out in that bad habit, you just tuck it under, stand up and try and squeeze from there. You can also mess around with the foot positions as well if you want. You'll notice if your feet are closer in together and pointed straight forward, you don't get as much of a squeeze, and if you point them out ever so slightly, you'll probably feel like you can squeeze harder. There's no right or wrong with this. Play around with it. You know, you've got 3 sets of 10 seconds to do, so you can try a couple of foot positions as well. So that is your bum squeeze, and then we move into the most important part, which is integration into how you move, which is with the standing march. Lastly, our integration exercise is where it's at. You're going to use the standing march drill. Again, this seems really simple, but it is really how you do it that makes the difference. So Jenny's going to try and implement all of the stretches that we've done and put it into this drill. So it's opposite arm, opposite leg, march on the spot, okay? Go really slow with this. And what I want you to do, like I said, is that little bit of that tuck under and stand up, and you'll feel the difference. You'll feel your lower abs whenever you do this. You're going to do this for a full minute. Really focusing on muscle activation as you do it. You should also get a nice stretch throughout your torso if you do it right. If Jenny just does it really lazy and doesn't really do the tuck or anything, it's dead simple. You know, you're still moving, it still looks like you're doing the right thing, but it's really about integration of all of these drills that the magic actually happens, okay? And then next time you are running or just walking in general, just check, are you doing these things that are going to help your overall posture get a lot better and start to get rid of that anterior pelvic tilt. Even after doing this routine and doing this drill, you will feel a lot better and a lot looser. It's a great warm-up for training. This would be a really good warm-up if you're doing anything with hip extension in it. So kettlebell swings or deadlifts, this drill helps your body to move like a body wants to move. And if you make your body move like a body, then general training becomes a lot more fun and a lot better. So make sure you're feeling the abs, make sure you're taking your time, and you will really feel the difference. So even try doing it wrong for a few as well, sticking that bum out, and you'll just feel the muscles do not feel like they're working in the same way. And then if you know what is wrong, then you'll know what is right, and then always do the drill in the right way, okay? Again, we're going to be doing this for 4 times per day. So it's 1 minute each leg couch stretch, then your 3 sets of 10 in the plank and 3 sets of 10 seconds in the butt squeeze, and then your standing march for 1 minute. It is dead easy to fit this in. Don't make a big deal out of it. You can be checking your phone while you're doing the couch stretch, especially first thing in the morning. You could even be drinking your coffee at the same time. Just make that little bit of a habit to do it. If you at least hit the one first thing in the morning, you will be more likely to do it throughout the day. So if you are going to accidentally miss it, any of them, really try and hit that one in the morning, because you will, like I said, be more inclined to be doing it throughout the day. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. This is one element of hip mobility. There is also rotation, which is a very important thing to address as well, but this will really help with your anterior pelvic tilt. If you want a full body mobility program, then head over to my website, tommorrison.uk, and pick up the Simplistic Mobility Method, and it will run through all of these things and much more as well for your shoulders, your hips, your ankles, your knees, and your core strength. It is a really good program to work through, and it will help you with a lot more than just your anterior pelvic tilt. So hope you enjoyed this video, like I said, and leave some comments or any questions, or if you find this helped, then let me know.